Welcome everyone to the March 6, 2025 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please join me in reciting the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I'm Barb Lewis, President of the Board this year, and to my left is Vice President Jeff Benton. To my right, fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, and we have our County Administrator Tracy Davies, and our clerks Jennifer Walraven and Brandy Wilson. We can begin.
Resolution number 25-160, in the matter of approving electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held March 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-160. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3, resolution number 25-161, in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0305 and memo transfers in batch number MT APR 0305.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-161. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-162, in the matter of granting annexation petition from agent for the petitioner, Michael R. Shade, attorney at law, requesting annexation of 84.3 acres of land in Delaware Township to the city of Delaware.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Okay. Any discussion? Okay. Vote,
We have
please.
received no objections, so vote on motion 25-162. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-163, in the matter of setting date and time for a viewing and public hearing for consideration of the drainage improvement petition for the Evergreen Cemetery watershed filed by the Berlin Township trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-163. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-164, in the matter of proclaiming March 16th through 2025 as National Agricultural Week in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Any?
Don't be
any
shy.
Discussion? Yes. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you so much for welcoming us here today. Appreciate that. My name is Mary Fleming. I'm the current president for the Delaware County Farm Bureau, and we appreciate your recognition of the role that agricultural plays here in Delaware County. It remains our #1 industry, and we've prepared baskets with gifts for each of you from Delaware County producers and Delaware County industries here that represent agriculture. We continue to have active dairy farms, which surprises a lot of people. There are 7 dairy farms within the county and 2 at county lines. We have a very large commercial hog operation. We have hundreds of acres in corn, soybeans, and hay production here in Delaware County. And at this time, I'd like to present each of you with a basket from our Delaware County Farm Bureau.
Thank you.
Wow.
With me are farmers Chalico Clark, Zane Skinner, and our administrator,
Thank you.
Melinda Lee.
Oh, it was heavy. Wow. Oh, there's honey.
Tell him I said aye.
Gosh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have any questions for any of us?
Yes, tell us a little bit about the activities of the Farm Bureau here.
Farm Bureau is a member-driven grassroots organization that works to provide support for farmers, agriculturalists, and the rural communities. We work to support farmers through things like CAU assistance. We have a new health benefits plan that we're working on for farmers. We do safety training in the workplace. Agriculture remains one of the most dangerous industries in America. We currently are working on mental health issues because there's such a high suicide rate amongst our farm producers. We work on things like drought assistance. Last year we were privileged to meet with the county EMA personnel to work on the drought assistance plan for Delaware County and got information out to both the firefighters and the farmers on ways we could mitigate the effects of such a severe drought here in the county. So there's a lot of different ways in which we provide member benefits, and there's a list of some of those as well in your packet in front of you.
Oh, great. Commissioners?
Go ahead.
I can speak, I think, on behalf of all the commissioners. We really value, I'll call it the northern half of our county, and the contribution made by the agricultural community. In fact, one of the things we're in the process, you'll see more on it in the next few weeks, is broadband, trying to increase broadband in the northern part of our county. That's a project that we place a high value on, which is also very beneficial to the farm community for areas that don't have the quality of service. I do have the proclamation, which I'm prepared to read, but I don't know, Mr. Bevins, you want to make a comment first?
Really, just thank you for all you do. You know, we love our farmers. We love the ag community. We've got a great group of leaders, you know, in the community, not just, you know, in Delaware County, not providing leadership in Delaware County in the direction of agricultural here, but statewide. You know, we've got a lot of people who are doing a lot of good things across the entire state here in Delaware County. So thank you for all that. And I have not heard of shagbark seed and mill, but I'm anxious to try the tortilla chips. They look really good. And everything else is always good. So thank you very much.
Delaware County has raised a lot of agricultural leaders at the national level over the years.
Yeah,
Even
national
at the
too.
state level, Delaware County has had the most FFA state presidents of any region in Ohio. We appreciate the assistance on broadband. That's critical for us to continue with our business successes here in the county. And one last note, we will be sending you an invitation for our annual policy setting meeting. It will be held at We Feed You Farms in Radnor Township. And we look forward to having each of you participate in that too. Oh, my apologies, we're
Skinner's?
switching that to Skinner's.
Okay, great.
Sorry, Zane. We did it at the other place last year.
That's right, yeah.
We love going to those too. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
It's just, gosh.
Skitters are great.
Oh.
Marshes are great. And we just, good example, we got just a lot of really good farmers here in the county.
right.
And it's an industry that's changing dramatically, you know, with technology.
People asked me 40 years ago if there'd be farming in Delaware County in another 20 years because there was so much attention to how fast we were growing. My answer is yes. A lot of the farmers own the land that they're based on, and many of them are legacy farmers. My grandsons are 8th generation farming here in the township that I live in. The farming will continue to evolve just like everything else. Maybe we'll be growing more nursery crops. We've already expanded that part of our agriculture production in Delaware County a great deal. Maybe we'll be growing hemp or hops or something else. Who knows? But I think we will continue to see agriculture, and we'll continue to see agriculturalists make the best choices they can for the land and for the public we serve. Thank you so much for today.
Yeah, well, I'm a little prejudiced. When I think of agriculture, I think of food, not hemp. And so allow me that
Right.
distinction.
Yeah.
Also, I think we should give credit where it's due. Eric Hostetler worked very much on the broadband program,
Yes.
Yes.
and as it gets rolled out, he deserves much of the credit for where we are. So just
Yeah.
throw that
And-
out there.
That question for Zane, is your family still doing popcorn?
No.
Yeah.
We got out of that 8 years ago.
Okay. I know I always enjoyed getting a bag of that
Yeah,
every year, but.
we still have some stored.
Popcorn was a little tricky in Delaware County. My dad also raised popcorn, but it has to dry down in the field for the best popcorn production, and that's a little tricky with our seasonal weather that we can sometimes have interrupting our harvest season.
Great.
Oh, my gosh. And agriculture is the largest industry in the county, too.
Yep.
Absolutely, it still is.
Yes, that's great. And Commissioner Merrill?
And I'm pleased to read
Do
the
the honors.
proclamation. Whereas, when Americans sit down to a meal each day, we sometimes take for granted the quality, abundance, and value of the food we eat. Our supermarkets, grocery stores, and restaurants offer a tremendous selection of fruits, vegetables, meats, dairy products, and other food items, but we often forget the hardworking men and women whose skill and effort put that food on our tables, and that's represented today. And whereas we should also recognize that agriculture in the United States plays a crucial role in strengthening our economy and providing food for people around the world. And whereas American farmers, while producing an abundance of safe and affordable food and fiber, also are an essential source of jobs in our communities, whether in production, distribution, or marketing. U.S. agriculture remains our nation's largest employer, with more than 22 million people employed in this essential industry. And whereas the world's population is expected to exceed 9.6 billion people by 2050, and U.S. agriculture is poised to reach the demands of feeding this growing population. Therefore, be it resolved that the Delaware County Board of Commissioners proclaims March 16th through the 22nd, 2025 as National Agricultural Week in Delaware County. We call upon our citizens to acknowledge and celebrate the achievements of all those who, working together, produce an abundance of products that strengthen and enrich our community and our nation. And every time we go to the grocery store, I hope we think about that. Signed by Commissioner Jeff Benton, Commissioner Barb Lewis, and Commissioner Gary Merrill.
And we'll take a vote, and then we'll get a picture.
All right. Vote on motion 25-164. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right.
That you hold this?
Yeah, I can do that. Yep. Take a couple from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to going to the student. Sounds good.
You see this, there's a chocolate pig.
Don't eat your
Jeff was
chocolate.
given.
Yeah, chocolate pig.
Now this basket.
Yeah. Okay.
Item number 7, resolution number 25-165, in the matter of recognizing the month of March 2025 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Chase Waits. I'm the Director of Communications and Community Engagement for the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And with me today is...
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Courtney Hines, and I am the Outreach Advocate for the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
And for us, every month is DD Awareness Month, but for March, we like to spend a little extra time celebrating and educating people in the spirit of National DD Awareness Month. National DD Awareness Month was established in 1987 by President Reagan. It's about celebrating the abilities and contributions of people with developmental disabilities. It's also a time for us to reflect on how we can work together to remove obstacles and to create a world that everyone has the opportunity to live personally fulfilling lives.
This year, we kicked things off with Wear Blue Day for DD Awareness Day. I helped represent the Delaware County Board at the DD Awareness Advocacy Day at the Ohio State House, where I was able to talk to Beth Lair, legislator, about making it possible how we have the adult changing tables, how it's required that we must have universal changing tables everywhere. I would like to make it a requirement that we also must have ceiling lifts as well in the community bathrooms.
So this month, we're hosting sessions on things like a theater arts program for adults with developmental disabilities. I have a session on how Delaware County Transit and MORPC work together to ensure that people with disabilities have access to the community. We're hosting Learning Aid Ohio, which provides targeted educational support to help children and families reach their academic goals. We're attending story times at various branches of the Delaware County District Library. We're promoting the Sensory Series movie showing at the Strand Theater. We're kicking off our initial session of the DCBDD Family Forum, and that's for families that are supported by our agency to come together to celebrate their successes and to navigate the challenges that they face. We're hosting a webinar with the founder of Zipped Brands. That's a company from Tennessee that adapts trendy sneakers so that everyone can access those. And finally, we have an informational session on our new Access to Leadership program, where we're hoping to prepare people that we support to take on leadership roles in the community.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're
You're the
pretty
best
busy.
in the state, if not national.
I think so.
Absolutely, absolutely. And any comments before I read the resolution?
Commissioner Lewis mentioned the best in the state. I don't know how we judge that, but my gut feeling is we're the best in the state. And great leadership. I had the privilege of taking a tour of your temporary location about 2 weeks ago as we prepare to build a more permanent location next 2 to 3, 4 years. And we're very fortunate to have the team we have, the Development Disability, serving this great county. So thank you, and it's a great honor to have this proclamation today.
Yeah, thank you as well. I'm very happy to support the proclamation. Sorry Chris couldn't be here, but there's
Yes.
a little dental emergency, so we're going to miss her, but we'll be sure to reach back out to her. And so anyway, congratulations, and glad to recognize the month. It's a good time to pause and reflect on
It is.
what a great agency we do have.
And Courtney, I'd just like to thank you for the great work that you do every day at DD, and then, boy, you just do a wonderful job, and Chase likewise. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Great staff. And I will read the proclamation. Whereas March 2025 marks the 38th anniversary of National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, and whereas people with developmental disabilities are an important and valued part of our community, and whereas the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities, families of people with developmental disabilities, and service providers partner together to support more than 2,300 people with developmental disabilities throughout Delaware County, and whereas it is essential to promote awareness and understanding of developmental disabilities to ensure that all members of our community receive the support and respect they deserve. Whereas the Delaware County Commissioners acknowledge the importance of access to opportunities to live, learn, work, and play in Delaware County. And whereas during these activities during this month will reinforce the value and talent people with developmental disabilities add to our communities, and reaffirm the commitment of the Delaware County Commissioners to achieving a community where all people can lead personally fulfilling lives. And therefore, be it resolved that the Delaware County Commissioners recognize and commemorate the 38th anniversary of National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Be it further resolved that the Delaware County Commissioners designate the month of March 2025 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Signed by Jeff Benton, Barb Lewis, and Gary Merrill. And now we can get a picture.
Can we get a vote first?
Need a
Oh, I'm
vote?
sorry, we need to vote.
Make
You're
this
right.
official.
We gotta make this official.
25-165, Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Courtney and Jason. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Okay.
Item number 8, resolution number 25-166, in the matter of approving the Second Amendment to the agreement by and between the Court of Common Pleas, Delaware County, Ohio Probate Division, and the Board of Commissioners of Delaware County on behalf of the Department of Job and Family Services to fund the Delaware County Guardianship Services Board.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jennifer Wattenshade, and I'm the Business Administrator with Job and Family Services. This is an additional amendment to our Guardianship Board contract. This is our second amendment. This year, we are increasing it by $5,000. The initial contributions were $10,000. The guardianship board helps to step in with our aging population to provide services, ensure they're getting what they need, connect them with, in-home care, et cetera. And they help to prevent adults needing adult protective services. So by us helping them out to be able to do their job a little more efficiently, they're, of course, helping the aging population, but they're preventing them from neglect and abuse and then needing our services. So, this is definitely a near and dear to our heart at the agency, so.
Oh, absolutely. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-166. Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-167, in the matter of approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and Developmental Disabilities for services from Rest Care Ohio Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This one is one of our placement contracts. This youth is multi-system, so they are being worked with multiple agencies. We actually share this contract with Board of DD, and they provide transportation services and pay that portion of the contract, and we take care of board and care.
Okay, thank you. Discussion. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-167. Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-168, in the matter of setting date and time for request for proposals for transportation services for Delaware County, Ohio Department of Job and Family Services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This one, we provide transportation to Medicaid eligible individuals within our county that, of course, have our Medicaid services. If they're not able to provide their own transportation, the last few years we've had the same provider. We've got one main provider here in the county. We're hoping to get some additional proposals so that we can evaluate them all fairly and continue providing the service for our clients.
Thank you. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 25-168. Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-169, in the matter of setting date and time for request for quotes for over-the-phone interpretation services for Delaware County, Ohio Department of Job and Family Services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This request for quotation is for over-the-phone interpretation services. We have a variety of clients that come in that aren't fluent with the English language, so we want to make sure that they have the same access that anyone that does speak English would have. So they come in, they need interpretation to make sure that they fully understand what we're conveying to them, what we need from them and so on. This phone service gets used quite a bit. So.
That's great. How long have we been doing this?
We've been doing this a long time.
Well, I've been here 5 years. We've had something like this since way before
You've
I
had
showed
it
up.
for-
Oh,
okay.
yes, yes.
Okay, great. Any further discussion? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-169. Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Resolution number 25-170, in the matter of designating the county administrator as the board's representative at meetings of Unit Owners Association for the Orange Corporate Center Commercial Condominium.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Eric Hostetler, Deputy County Administrator. Sorry. The board is now a unit owner at this condominium, and so we need to have a unit owners meeting, and this resolution will authorize the county administrator to serve as the board's representative at that meeting.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-170. Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-171, a resolution of necessity for purchase or lease of motor vehicles for the use of the Delaware County Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Justin Avi, Director of Finance. This first item, it's a request for a replacement vehicle lease for EMS, and this will be replacing an existing pickup truck that was previously leased through Enterprise Fleet.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-171. Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-172, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriations and a supplemental appropriation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Thanks, Commissioners. This second item includes budget adjustments to account for, first, debt service payments that MORPC will be making on the county's behalf for the Africa Road SIB loan. There have been some additional litter grant awards through DKMM, and then there's a grant refund that's been requested from the juvenile court back to mental health.
Okay, further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 25-172. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
Resolution number 25-173, in the matter of approving the invitation to bid for lawn mowing services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
It's that time of year.
Yes, good morning, John Melvin,
That's a-
Director of
that's a
Facilities. Yeah, I probably should have got this
Yeah.
out a couple weeks ago, actually. So as stated, this would be for the contract for all the lawn mowing at the various county properties.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-173. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thanks, John.
Resolution number 25-174, in the matter of approving the updated emergency medical services billing policy and confirming the rates for ambulance transport and emergency medical services cost recovery for Delaware County EMS.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director, Delaware County EMS. In front of you is our billing policy as far as it relates to insurance-only billing for Delaware County EMS, and also a 3% rate adjustment over last year.
Okay. Any further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 25-174. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a Commissioner's discussion of the semi-annual review of investment procedures from July 1st of 2024 through December 31st of 2024.
Okay. I'll just read an introduction to our semi-annual review, which we are doing, as our clerk said, July 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. Pursuant to Section 135.34 of the Revised Code, Ohio Revised Code, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners may conduct a semi-annual review of the investment procedures of the County Investing Authority, which is the Delaware County Treasurer. The previous semi-annual review of investment procedures was conducted in September 2024, covering investment activities in the first 6 months of 2024. Based on that review, the board determined that the investment authority had failed to invest the inactive monies of the county as provided by law or in documented substantial material and continuing disregard of the advice or written policies of the County Investment Authority Committee, and written notice was provided to the investing authority. The board is now prepared to conduct the semi-annual review of investment procedures for investment activity in the remaining 6 months of 2024. Information for the review is based on the monthly reports provided by the Delaware County Treasurer and additional information gathered by county staff. This is an administrative review, not a public hearing, so no formal testimony will be taken. Persons interested in speaking on this topic may sign up for public comment in accordance with the board's rules governing public comment. Forms are available from the clerk. The board will now conduct the review. And I'd just like to read the policy that was passed unanimously by the committee, the investment committee. Section 5B of the investment and depository policy states as follows: the treasurer shall not purchase directly by private placement any bonds or other obligations of political subdivisions or other public entities unless prior to the purchase, the Investment Advisory Committee approves and authorizes the purchase by a unanimous vote of the full membership of the Investment Advisory Committee. And this resolution that we passed was unanimously signed and passed in our committee, and it was May of 2023. So I think let's just get into just a little bit about the specifics of the prior review, and then we'll talk about the present review.
Want me to go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If I could just give a little perspective to start with. My background, I spent 30 years in the banking industry, and then after that have been on numerous boards and investment management committees. So I've got many years of experience managing and overseeing significant investment portfolios. And there's four, kind of, to put it in the framework, there's four major risks in an investment portfolio that you really want to keep a close eye on. One is liquidity. Liquidity is the ability to convert the securities that you own to cash. You know, if you have a need, you know, whether it's for planned purposes or unplanned purposes. So liquidity is very important that you have a certain amount at all times. And the next one would be credit risk. You want to make sure that the bonds you're buying don't present a risk of principal loss. And the third one is interest rate risk. You know, the main risk here is if you buy bonds in a certain time and then interest rates go up, well, the value of those bonds goes down. And you also don't achieve as much interest rate income as you would if you'd not bought those bonds at a low fixed rate. So anyway, and then last is concentration risk, and that's the risk where you don't want to have too many bonds owned by a particular issuer, or in or a particular industry or particular geography, for instance. Those are examples of concentration risks that really need to be monitored. And the private placement bonds are unique in that they are illiquid. There is no viable market for private placement bonds, and typically they're unrated, so that there are extra risks associated with it. And usually when you're buying private placement bonds, there's what's called a liquidity premium, and that's where you get a little higher rate because you're buying an illiquid bond, and that needs to be priced into the pricing, the yield on the bond. Secondly, you know, credit risk. You know, again, there's all sorts of ratings that you monitor to make sure you're buying bonds that are safe. Private placement bonds, again, as I mentioned before, typically are not rated. You know, for example, buying an investment in a startup business model that has unverifiable revenue projections is a risk that taxpayers, I don't think, should be buying bonds like that. Long-term fixed rate bonds, I think the Ohio Revised Code limits purchase of most bonds to 5 years maturity. The private placement bonds can be up to 10 years, so that adds a level of fixed rate risk. And in the portfolio that we've seen, there are several bonds that were bought earlier in earlier years at, for example, 1.75% for 10 years. Well, those bonds, you know, with interest rates having gone up significantly, those bonds are significantly worth less than principal, and the income on them has been less than ideal. So there's a number of risks that are associated with the private placement bonds, and they need to be priced to recognize those risks. And I don't think that's what we've done in the portfolio. The two bonds in the first half of 2024, as we found earlier in September, were clearly in violation of the policy, and then we found that there's one bond in the second half of 2024 that was also clearly in violation of that policy. And many counties across the state have a policy like this in place, and so that's the background and my findings.
Okay. And there are 3 people on our investment advisory.
Yes,
committee.
it's Commissioner Lewis, myself, and the treasurer
Right.
make up the investment committee, and all 3 of us did pass that May of 23 amendment to the policy requiring, and that policy very clearly requires any private placement bond purchases have to be reviewed and approved by the full committee unanimously.
Right.
And these bonds, none of the 3 bonds we mentioned were.
Right. And after we passed this amendment, we also have a separate opinion by the prosecutor that the amendment is in
valid.
fact legal and must be followed.
Right.
And let's see. And there was no, in these past violations, the investing authority, the treasurer, has not corrected the prior violations, and this could have included remedial review by the Investment Advisory Committee, reversal of the transaction or sale of the investment, but that hasn't happened. And then, would you like to explain, then we also found a violation as we were studying this for our review today, and that was BST&G.
Yes, BST&G bond bought, I think in July or August of 24, was clearly it was a private placement bond, and it comes with the associated risks that I mentioned, and it was not presented to the investment committee and therefore not reviewed or approved by the investment committee. So it's clearly a violation of the policy.
Right. And as guardians of taxpayer dollars, we all take our role in this very, very seriously, and this is why we are studying and doing this semi-annual review.
Yep.
And are there any other points that should be made on this?
I didn't have anything else.
We want to prevent this from happening in the future.
Yes, well, that's what the policy was supposed to do.
That's right.
Was
That's
to
right.
make sure, it doesn't say,
Right.
it doesn't mean that the bonds couldn't be purchased or that they weren't for a valid purpose. It just means that
Right.
it needs complete sign-off to make sure that all the risks that I talked about were addressed properly.
Right, exactly. So we set up a process to do this, but it has not been followed, and my fear would be that it won't be followed. There's no indication that it will be followed. And any other further discussion on this? Then I
Well, just an observation. I think what I'm hearing is that, the people, the organizations that BST&G and Brown, they in good faith were involved in this
Yes.
bond issue.
Right.
So it's really no critique on their part. They were doing what they believed to be appropriate.
Right. Right, yes, definitely. And I would ask the clerk to read a resolution.
Resolution number 25-175, in the matter of confirming the semi-annual review of investment procedures and issuing written findings based on the review.
So moved.
Second?
Further discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 25-175. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. And we are, this hearing, I'm sorry, this is not a hearing. This administrative action then by the board is finished. And do we have any other business?
We have, that brings us to administrator report.
Nothing today, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
And then any commissioner or committee reports?
Commissioner Merrill?
Yeah, I have one thing, and, we talk a lot about the boards that we appoint to and the quality of the people that serve on those boards. And this week, we lost one of those quality board members who was extremely passionate and I know worked very, very hard to do a good job, and that's Brad Allen, who served on the library board. And I think it's appropriate that we acknowledge his quality of service, his dedication to the county and to the library board specifically, and the loss, because he will be, being a CPA, he provided a unique service on that board, and with great deal of passion and love for that particular organization. So I just wanted to make comment on that, and it's something I hope we never have to do again. So but unfortunately, earlier this week,
Yeah,
his death was,
very unexpected.
yep.
Yeah.
Very, very sad.
Yeah, again, Brad was a good friend, a good community leader, good friend of the library, very smart guy, you know, and so, yeah, it's a very sad loss for the community, for, I'm sure, Brad's family and friends and so on. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to recognize
Absolutely.
Brad in his memory and just thank him for all he had done and wish the best for his family in the coming weeks. I'm sure it's going to be difficult for them. Anything else?
That's all.
I just had a couple other things.
Sure.
The MORPC executive committees this afternoon, and there's a CCAO JEDI committee call as well. And just in case people forget, this weekend is daylight savings time.
Oh, that's right.
So you have to,
That's back up on that West of it.
you have to,
Yeah. Seems like it's early.
it seems like every year they talk about eliminating it.
I
but
know.
Nothing ever happens, so anyway, Saturday
You
night.
pick up an hour.
Yeah, no, you lose, well,
No,
you
you
lose an hour.
Spring forward,
Right.
yeah, spring
Yeah.
forward, fall
Yeah,
back, you got
lose
it.
an hour.
Saturday night,
Yeah. So instead of getting up at 6 a.m., you're really getting up at 5.
yeah, it's one of those things.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I believe we have
We
need for
do.
executive.
Resolution number 25-176, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-176. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
We're now recessed into executive session.